Most of you will remember the Amberlynn original subreddit that was deleted a few years ago. Subsequent attempts to make a subreddit to discuss Amberlynn Reid were all deleted by Reddit. Right now, a growing subreddit called AmberlynnReidYT is around and has some interesting posts. Since the subreddit has not been deleted yet, I thought we could take a look at a post that I found interesting.
Amberlynn is just an extreme version of ourselves. Do you guys think that one of the reasons that Amberlynn is such a spectacle to watch for so many people it's because they see their own behaviors within her? Except in Amberlynn it is so much more extreme, which makes people feel better about themselves. For example, the most obvious one is her complete and utter uncontrollable weight. I think a lot of us struggle with weight, and seeing Amberlynn repetitively fail makes us feel better about ourselves being thinner than her. Another is spending habits. She is terrible with money, and I think her reckless spending makes us feel better about our own reckless spending. Another one is her fixation cycles. For example, the period where she was a vegan and seemed so invested, and then the next day completely gave up and didn't speak about it again. Another one is her continuous cycle of failed relationships, which usually fail due to her own selfish and narcissistic behaviors. I think seeing Amberlynn's train wreck of a life makes us all feel so much better, and I think that's genuinely why Amberlynn is so popular.
I've always thought this about Hater Nation. They watch Amberlynn, so they can pretend their flaws aren't so bad, because she's much worse than they are. Now let's look at some of the responses to the post.
When you watch a car crash, you're thinking, oh wow, that's horrible. But more importantly, you're thinking, thank God that isn't me. Yeah, that's a hard line to walk. I'm tempted sometimes to think, well, I didn't spend that much on clothes in one go, or at least I don't weight that much. But sometimes it's also helpful to see my negative behaviors for what they are, toned down versions of behaviors that really disgust me. Lately I've felt the urge to buy junk online, but seeing ALR's crazy shopping habits makes me feel sort of disgusted by my own excessive spending, so it's not nearly as tempting. Like, if I can tell her to cut the bullshit, I can tell that to myself too and really do better.
These people really seem out of control. What happens if Amberlynn doesn't post for a while? Does that give them an excuse to go back to their bad habits?
I'm extremely selfish. The only thing that changed my behavior was having my daughter, 11 years ago. I definitely manipulated a few partners into staying with me. I see so much of my previous shitty self in her actions.
I remain unconvinced by this one. In fact, I would say this person frightens me. And she has a kid? Oh no.
Absolutely. I had the same diet cycle because of my eating disorder, and I was going nuts, and I thought I'm gonna end up just like her if I can't stop this. Luckily today I am 50+ days binge-free, which is my longest ever. It is sad to watch though, because she is traumatized and walks through life blind without questioning her behavior.
Just one of many people who use Amberlynn to help with their eating disorders. Pathetic.
I'm really lazy, so you'd think Game would recognize Game, but Amber's laziness is so extreme that it beggars belief. I look to Amber to feel better about my own laziness in the same way I'd look at an inanimate object.
What a loser.
I definitely see parts of myself in her, and I think that's why I find myself giving her more sympathy than she deserves. Skeptical smiley face. I found out about her when I started my weight loss journey a few months ago, 60 pounds down, and I kind of use her as like inspiration to stay on track. I struggle with binge eating disorder, though unlike her I'm in therapy for it, and when I find myself wanting to binge, I put on a compilation of her and tell myself, this can be you if you don't stop, and it works LMAO.
This person will definitely fall into the usual Hater Nation weight loss cycle of success for the short term and utter failure to follow.
I agree up to a point with you. I struggle a bit with weight, more of a fat to muscle ratio, The reason I'm 200 pounds is cause I gained a lot of muscle without losing fat, so I don't look how I'd like. And the reason I stay at this weight is my eating habits. I watch Amber not to feel good about myself but more to recognize when I fall into unhealthy behaviors and curb them. Same with my spending habits. I have managed to cut down on the amount of tat I spend on and mostly buy necessities and art from people I admire. Some people look at Amber to feel better about themselves, which is fine, but I watch her as a warning to myself. That I need to take care of myself and I need to keep my impulses in check. Edit. I forgot to mention. Sometimes I have trouble seeing myself as either fat or not. Because I'm an awkward middle of being uncomfortable but not having health issues. I pick clothing appropriate for my body type and slimming outfits, but I don't wear skin-tight stuff and feel good. It just is what it is as I work to do better.
My favorite line. I agree up to a point with you. I struggle a bit with weight, more of a fat to muscle ratio. The reason I'm 200 pounds is cause I gained a lot of muscle without losing fat, so I don't look how I'd like.
Sure, Jan.